Okay, everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you are here to learn about what to use for equipment and weights at home, then obviously you're in the right spot because you clicked on the video. But thank you guys for joining. We are just now in lockdown 2.0 here in England, hoping to get out of it in the next 2 weeks. That would be great, but for now, gyms are closed. They're either closed where you are, or they're probably going to close unless you're in Texas. Gyms will probably never close in Texas. Otherwise, if you have no equipment at home, if you have no weights, they're super expensive right now. They're really hard to get a hold of. Shipping's taking forever. Prices are high. So if you have nothing and you want to get some exercise done at home, I would always recommend using some form of resistance. So not just doing HIIT workouts and cardio all day. You should be putting some resistance on your body, and that is why I'm going to help you figure out some ways to do that. If you don't want to invest in the equipment, it's expensive, like I said, hard to get, and who knows how long we're going to be in this. It might just be a couple weeks. So try these out. I'm going to give you guys my tips, what I've found works during all of this. This is what a lot of my members are using for their home workouts. So thanks for joining, and we're going to go ahead and dive in to what you can use to work out at home when you have no weights, no equipment, all that stuff. Thanks, guys. Oh, and I'm going to go through each thing that I'm going to be using, and then later in the video, I'm going to show exercises that you can do for each one of those. All right, stay tuned. Number one, a couple water bottles, or if you have like gallon jugs of water bottles, the big ones, especially the ones that have some handles on top. Water bottles are great, or gallons of water, or anything that can fit in your hands really easily. So these are what I use for lighter movements, and we'll talk about those later. Next up, a backpack like this. This is great for a lot of exercises, and you can make it quite heavy. And there's lots of different ways to hold it. You have the straps. You can hug it. I'll show you more exercises with it later. Also, you have to fill it up with stuff. So heavy cans of beans or corn. Put your water bottles in there. Fill it up. Get it heavy. Also, another option for bags are some grocery bags. It's great because they have the handles with them. So, same thing with the backpack. Fill up each bag with similar weight. If the weight's not perfectly symmetrical, just each time you do a new set, switch which hand the bag is in, right? So now you have weighted bags, fill them as heavy or as light as you need to, and these are great for a lot of exercises too. Okay, now this is where things are getting a little funky, but a couple towels are great for a few key things. So I actually use towels quite a bit in my workout. They're used to slide on the floor. So these small towels would either be for your hands or for your feet. I'll show you how to use them later. And a full-size towel is also great. I'll show you some more exercises for this. This is good for isometric movements, so like holds and pulling. I'll show you a couple of these. Now, again, strange one maybe, a broomstick. This one is great when you combine it with the backpack. I'll show you a couple of exercises to use for that as well. And this also works for bands, a chair, a bench of something. This is great for step-ups, hip thrusts, overhead press. You can kind of do an incline press on here. You can do incline push-ups on here. Lots of things with a chair or a bench or something like that. And lastly, if you have a partner, these work great for really heavy movements. So if you've got one of these, I'll show you how to use them later. Alright, so now going back to the water bottles that we started with originally. Like I said, these are great for lighter movements. Lots of pressing, pulling. If you're using something as light as water bottles, depending on your strength, but most of the time, you're going to need to do some higher reps. So sets of 16, 20, 25 like that to really get the work out of just a couple water bottles, right? Some exercises, you can think of these water bottles just as really light dumbbells. Obviously, there's 1,000 dumbbell movements you can do. So I'm just going to show you a few, right? I love a good lat raise. So So hit your shoulders. You can also hit your shoulders with some presses. If you lay on the floor, you can bench these. So lying on the floor, press away. You can do chest flies on the floor. And one thing that a lot of people miss out during home workouts are pulling movements. So working your back muscles, the backside of your whole body. You have to remember to pull at home and pull when you're at the gym, right? So, some bent over rows. Some rear delt flies. So open up here. You can do bent over Y raises. Lots of things like that that require some lighter weights are great for just these couple water bottles. Alright, the backpack. This one's great for heavier movements where you just need one thing. Generally, leg movements I use the backpack for. A couple of ways to hold it. I'm going to start with holding it against the chest so you can kind of carry it like a baby. You can cross your arms here. First off, we can just do some regular squats. So the way that you're carrying this weight, it's on the front of your body. It's going to be more of a front squat. It's going to be pulling your chest over, right? So this is different than a normal back squat. If you want to switch, now just put the backpack on. Squat normally. You can do the same thing with every leg movement where you want to hold the weight on your back or your front. So we can do some step back lunges, some lateral squats, hold it down below, and you can do some sumo squats here. And also, you don't have to just use this for leg movements. Bent over, pull to your chest here. This is a great one. Lots of exercises, mostly leg movements, but bent over rows are great with this backpack here. Okay, we've got the grocery bags now. These are very versatile. The only thing I don't love about these is that they can start to swing. So maybe you want to hold them a little closer to the weight. That helps with the swinging some. So fill these up as heavy as you need to. Lots of things you can do here. Similarly to the water bottles, think about these just as a dumbbell, right? So with the bags, you can do curls. You can do tricep extensions. You can overhead press. You can also do lat raises, bent over rows, single arm rows. You can hold these and also do some squats, lunges, all sorts of things. These are very versatile. You should be using these. Now we've got the broom. This one's good for just a couple exercises, but you can think of it like a barbell. So if you slide your backpack through here, you can do curls with this here. You can, behind the neck, overhead press. You can bent over row. And if you have resistance bands, you can slide this through resistance bands when you attach it to the door or a pole and do lots of pulling movements with it attached to the resistance bands if you have those as well. Now, with the chair, like I said, lots of things you can do here. Everybody should have one of these in your house. So, you can press, step ups. You can also use this to hip thrust on. So back here, use a backpack or something weighted on your hips. Thrust up. Or you can do dips here. Either with your feet close to make it easier, or push your feet out. Some good tricep dips there. Now, with the two towels, there's a couple exercises you can do here. I like both of these a lot. The first is a chest fly negative, alright? So, hands on the ground, on your knees, and then you're just going to open these up and slowly lower yourself to the ground in a fly motion. and then push back up there. The other one is a hamstring curl. So lying on your back, feet on the towel, heels on the towel, and you're going to pull your legs into you, lifting your hips up, and you're going to feel this in your hamstrings. Now, with the big towel, like I said, this is used for some isometrics. A couple of these in particular is going to be a bent over row isometric, and then I'm going to do a bent over front raise isometric here. So stand on the towel, you're just going to grab these, and then you're just going to pull like you're trying to row. So pull back as hard as you can. You should feel your back working. Just keep pulling. I like to pull for 20 seconds, and then rest on that. Other one, similar movement, we're just going to try and do a front raise, lateral raise with this, right? So thumbs facing up, and we're going to try and pull up and away. Those shoulders should start burning. Same thing, 15 to 20 seconds. I like to superset those, start with that, and then move into a water bottle movement. That's the same move, just with the actual movement and not the isometric. Okay, and last one, use your partner. This one's the best really for just squats. You can also hip thrust them. I'm going to show you how to squat. Alright, just let them climb on. The best thing to do is to have a little bit of a hip hinge. So if you're completely upright, they're going to try and slide down. So bend at the hips, and then just a normal squat. There you go.